Hey, good evening. Welcome back. Today I want to ask you, are you aware of the power of your new heart? Does your self-awareness include awareness of the power of your new heart in Christ? Welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. It's good to start this week with you this Monday, July 14th. We're looking at self-awareness and God awareness. And remember, our premise is we cannot be fully self-aware without being God aware. We looked at first at what is our purpose. Our purpose is to nourish, to care for, rule, have dominion, to bring the honor and glory of God to the world around us, to the creation around us, and everything that we do. And then we looked at, in our last time together, we looked at the power of the flesh, which seeks to destroy that purpose that God gave us, that good, healthy purpose for all human beings. He gave us that, to be engaged in caring for this planet and this world and our environment with the people that we love in a way that brings honor and glory to His name. And the flesh is working against that. It's at war with the Spirit to keep our purpose from being reached. Then this third element of the four we're looking at, this third element of being self-aware is, are you aware? Am I aware of the power of the new heart that is unleashed within us? See, Paul is very concerned about this in the book of Ephesians. Notice in chapter 1, verse 18, he says this: I pray also that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which He has called you. See, he's asking for our heart's eyes to be enlightened, to be aware of just what is it that God has given us with this new creation, with this new heart that is within us, that has replaced that sinful nature, that has replaced that bent to serve only self. So he says, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened, in order that you may know the hope to which He has called you. That we could change, that we could be different, the power of this new heart. That the riches of the glorious inheritance of the saints, in other words, there is much more to it than this world. We have this inheritance which we have a taste of here, but roots us in heaven. It means I don't have to live by the rules of this world. I live by God's kingdom rules. And, notice, this is what we want to talk about tonight, and His incomparably great power for us who believe. That power is like the working of His mighty strength, which He exerted in Christ when He raised Him from the dead and seated Him in the heavenly realms. This is the power. Are we aware of this? Being God aware, being self-aware, is being aware of this power. Not to wander off on some kind of a mystical retreat or have some sort of a spiritual experience that doesn't relate to life, but in the trenches of everyday life, that we would know this raw power that raised Jesus from the dead. Paul is praying that our heart would be, the eyes of our heart would be opened, they would be enlightened, so that we would be aware of this great power. What does that mean, minute by minute, practically? It means that we have the power to overcome the evil that we see. It means I have the power not to have to avenge everything, but to know that God will take care of it. It means I have the power to make the fruit of the Spirit a reality within me. I can live for this great hope. I can make love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. I can make those things a part of my fabric of who I am. And it will radically change my personality. Yeah, in some ways, I'll still be the crazy person I've always been. But now, hey, Echo. But now, this transforming work of God give me a new heart. I now can, if I'm aware of that power, truly self-aware, that I'm not bound by the things of this world. This is why Paul says, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world, to the pattern of the old sinful nature, to the pattern of doing things the way that the enemy wants you to do them. But be transformed by the renewing of your minds to be self-aware of and God-aware of this power of Jesus Christ. And the power that is within us is the same power that God used to raise Jesus from the dead. That's mind-blowing. It means that you and I do not have to be limited anymore by the weaknesses of our flesh. The flesh does not have to destroy me for my purpose. Rather, this new heart that's within me will allow me to achieve the purpose for which I was made, the purpose for which you were made. To find the awesome reality of loving God 24/7, minute by minute, hour by hour, both in the good times and the hard times. You know, the majority of Christians since the New Testament have not lived a life of splendor and ease. They've lived a very, very hard life. I sit here in this room and I have lights that I turn on. I can go to the bathroom. I can use running water. I can clean myself. I can drink. I can manipulate a couple of dials and I'm either cool or warm. If I want to go see someone, I can get my car and drive in relative comfort. That's not been the experience of most Christians. And yet some of us today, if we don't have those things, we feel deprived. You know, one interesting thing for me, as a result of the cancer I had 10 years ago, is that my diet is pretty well restricted. So I don't eat any of the things that I used to eat. My diet is pretty narrow. And there's so many things that I love and I would love to eat and have again, but I can't. But you know what? It's a blessing to me because I don't have to be ruled by the need for food. And for the majority of the Christian world, they don't have that luxury of menus. They only have what they can get to survive. And yet the power of God is there for them as well, to unleash the power of God. So listen again to what Paul says here, what his prayer is. He says, I pray also that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened. In other words, be aware, in order that you may know the hope to which he's called you, the riches of his glorious inheritance to the saints, that's us, and the incomparably great power for us who believe. That power that shows the working of God that raised Jesus from the dead. Being self-aware means being God-aware, and being God-aware means that I know the power of the new heart that God has created in me. So I can know my true purpose. I can know why I'm here. And that's the thought for this night. Again, love your thoughts and feedback. We got one more to go, but how we put all this into action. We'll look at that, Lord willing, tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the privilege of talking to you about stuff that really, really matters. We cannot be self-aware unless we're God-aware. We can't know our purpose unless we're God-aware. We can't defeat the enemy's attempts to rob us of our purpose unless our self-awareness includes God-awareness. You have a great evening, and goodbye.